Hi, I'm Andrew from Berrima Diesel. We're just installing a turbo system on this 5LE, that's the 3 litre Toyota Hilux, non-turboed. It's got the electronic injection pump on it. I just want to talk about engines and are they durable enough to put on aftermarket turbos? Well, I guess, you're talking to the horse's mouth here at Berrima Diesel. We've been doing these things for well over 30 odd years. It's amazing what we get customers tell us they've read on forums, how worried they are. Like we say, forums are forums, they can say whatever they want to, but if you don't like what you hear here at Berrima Diesel, you don't need to be here liking the page. So we'll give you what we know about it. We've been doing it for a darn long time, but all I know is diesels are durable and they can cope with turbocharging, but you've got to remember they're a non-turbo, so don't go over the roof. You want to put a turbo on to get more air, more efficiency into the engine. What happens is, of course, guys put in fuel and then lots more fuel. 2 or 3 times higher than what you'd normally go with an aftermarket turbo install. The same old story every time when you ask around, when you hear the horror stories of aftermarket turboing, what do you hear? Cracked pistons, cracked head, everything cracked. Well, cracks don't come from air blowing in the wind, it comes from heat. And heat only comes from one thing, and that's fuel. And it's always over fueling. So again, so many people ring up and want to get a turbo done, but they've been told they've got to rebuild the motor first, put in special turbo pistons. Well, probably technically there's no such thing in most of these motors because there's no turbo equivalent engine even. And if you're talking the Toyotas with the 1HDT, totally different injection system to a 1HZ. So a lot of people again get confused, pay out a lot of money to places that say they're going to do all that and it has to be done, and it ends up making it completely not worthwhile even financially. You should be looking at 3 to 4 grand to put on a turbo system onto your diesel. Do it properly and responsibly like we've been doing for 30 odd years, and that should be more than enough to show you it's going to last a long time. Remember, fuel creates the damage, heat creates the damage, and too much of it causes all sorts of problems. So don't be fooled into rebuilding your engine. Get some proper advice in the first place. Remember, diesels are durable, and we've been turboing them for so long, we know they are. With a turbo, they're a great engine. It goes from something that's performing okay, reasonably in torque, to something that now really does want to pull that camper van or small caravan behind something like this quite easily up the road. And head off and just look after it, change your oils and filters, and you're done. So remember, non-turbo diesels certainly aren't made for turbocharging, but they can be turboed and they can last a really long time when it's done correctly. Do you need to rebuild your engine and put all sorts of special things in before you do that? Unless your motor's worn out, we say absolutely not. We're now turboing these things with 300, 400, 500,000 Ks on them because we know that these engines are durable when they're looked after. Customers that come to us look after their rigs. Coming with an old worn out heap, obviously you'll be getting given bad news by us that the motor's knackered and something needs doing. But when you look after your vehicle, you'll have a really long life out of your diesel, particularly with an aftermarket turbo set up correctly. I'm Andrew from Berrima Diesel, and you can see more of these good videos on our YouTube channel, here on our Facebook, or look us up at berrimadiesel.com, where we've got a lot of technical articles. And of course, don't forget, you can call in here if you're passing through. We're Berrima, an hour south of Sydney on the Hume Highway. Drop in and say good day.